This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Come along, let's roll across the Great Plains into the Rocky Mountains around Denver in the middle part of the U.S., heading west across the state of Colorado toward the Utah border and the great Canyonlands tourist area of the Moab area of Utah. But we're going to stop on the Colorado side and at a place called Fruita, and you will see some spectacular scenery, and you don't even have to get out of your car to see the Canyonlands of the western USA. The map here will help orient us and give us a big picture. We're going across the state of Colorado. Here are the Great Plains in this area here. Back here is the Missouri River, and the Great Plains give way to the Rocky Mountains as you head west. And we're going through the Denver area on the I-70 interstate and across Colorado to close to the Utah border. And we're going to see some great carvings of the Colorado River that flows out of Denver in a southwest direction through Utah, down through Arizona, and eventually into the Sea of Cortez in Mexico. But let's go back and cross Colorado. Here's a little more of a close-up. We'll start the video crossing the Great Plains and into the mountains in the Denver area on the I-70. We'll continue west toward the Utah border and stop at some great scenery at a little town in Colorado called Fruita. We entered Colorado from the eastern Kansas side. Right now we are on the I-70 east of Denver, Colorado, and headed west toward Denver. Maybe you saw those videos I made of the states of Missouri and Kansas and the east side of Denver, and the same big flat land that you see here. I had intended to share a few pictures of Denver, but it was during nightfall, and like all cities, big cities, like I said in that video on the former President Eisenhower and Abilene, stay on the internet and get through them. This is the mountain country west of Denver. Elevation is high, and we were still in snow country. We drove across the flat Great Plains. Now we are in the mountains, and we are headed to canyon country along the western Colorado and Utah border. We rolled through the long Eisenhower Tunnel. I showed more of this tunnel in my video on Eisenhower and the town of Abilene that you can find in my Great Plains playlist on YouTube. We overnighted at another popular spot for us alongside a small town community park. Next day, there was more good mountain country and a great highway. Whoa! Let's pull off the interstate and go for a bike ride. We are in the Glenwood Canyon area just west of Denver on I-70. And the canyon here has a bicycle trail along the Colorado River. And the Colorado River is just to my right here in the bushes there. I-70 is above us. You can see the highway bridge above us. And the bike trail runs in this area. A lot of it runs below the I-70. And it's a great little bike trail and a popular bike trail, and we really enjoyed riding it. We are in the headwaters of the Colorado River. All rivers at their beginnings or headwaters usually are quite small. As the water flows downstream, more water flows into the main stream, and the rivers get larger as they flow downstream. More scenic mountain country, and another tunnel or two we drove through, and the Colorado River is right by our side as we follow it downstream. The mountains gave way to more open and drier country as we moved further into western Colorado and toward the Utah border. we started to see more features like this one here. Spotted this pronghorn antelope, fastest mammal in North America, and fastest in the world over greater distances and time, up to 50 to 70 kilometers per hour. Only the African cheetah is faster, but in a short sprint only. These guys range north from here right up into Canada. They can run, but they will not jump fences. They will crawl on their bellies to get under a fence, prompting a movement to have ranchers and farmers remove the barbs from the lower strand of barbed wire fences. Big commercial agriculture has rolled up a lot of barbed wire fences, and this has helped the antelope. The country has changed from plains to mountains. Certainly dry, eroded country here. And the Colorado River is still with us. And it's the source of water for irrigation, the small amount that they do along here. Last community before the Utah border is Fruita. It is a tourist-type place, not as big as Moab on the Utah side of the border, but nevertheless it was an upscale place, and making a name for itself through mountain biking, but there was also hiking, rafting, and some horse riding. We did not do any mountain biking, but we did this nice trail right along the highway, right in Fruita. A nice, easy trail built for young fellas my age. But here's the real reason we stopped here, to drive this very high altitude scenic drive through the Colorado National Monument. The road is just under 40 kilometers, and you can do it in about an hour. That is, if you don't stop for photographs or fall off the cliff. We are in the National Monument just outside of Fruita in Colorado, near the Utah border. So let's drive up. It's a real high drive and very picturesque. Here we go. Nice paved 2-lane road, lots of curves and lots of altitude. It's all safe, just pay attention to the road. It's a long ways down there to the right. And the little wood fence won't help you. There was a number of pullouts with interpretive signs. And a little bit of traffic coming from the other direction. And you had to share the road with cyclists. Workers were killed building this road. One time there was 9 people killed at one time. Here we are, one of the 3 tunnels that the road goes through. I hope it's high enough for my motorhome. The views were spectacular, and you didn't have to get out of your car to see them. Wind and water erosion here. More spectacular formations. If you've seen the Grand Canyon and you think you've seen it all, not by any means. This place right here is as good as the Grand Canyon. The wind was blowing in the high country. Look in the top right. It looks like a mountain sheep. We'll have to pull over and stop and see. Here he is right here, one of them. There's a little herd here. I'll be able to just move right up with my camera. Let's see how close I can get. He probably won't even notice me. He's noticing me. That's enough of that. He's moving on. There was road construction, and at times we had to follow a pilot car through some sections. Work on the Colorado National Monument started in the 1930s and finished about 10 years later. After the debris and the rocks were exploded, the debris was carried out by hand and horses pulling wagons. This was one of the popular rock climbing towers, and here's some pictures of people doing it. They're a little bit braver than I would be. And another scan of the valley below, just spectacular stuff. The walkways from your car to the viewpoints were all safe. No dogs allowed on the trail for safety reasons. And more of, you can see the wind and water erosion that occurred over the centuries. It was just one spectacular view after another. And you didn't have to hike a long ways in at all. Small pinyon trees or bushes seem to be the main vegetation. Besides the wind, pinyon mice and birds, pinyon jays, helped spread the seeds. Both like to move and hide them in new cache spots. Seeds left or forgotten about often sprouted, and a forgotten seed germinated and became a tree. The pinyon is a type of pine that was named by the Spanish, who were the first Europeans to explore this area. The nut or seed of the pinyon was used by ancient people because it was rich in fats and calories. We are on the descent coming out of the monument back to the interstate I-70. We are heading west into the state of Utah, and to look at some of those great national parks and canyons around the Moab area. If you want to see those other videos, just like it says on the bottom there, Google the little @ sign @DonBarnett5090, hit playlists in the middle of the page and scroll down. Each playlist contains several travel videos. Until then, we're rolling on down the road. Hit the subscribe button and that'll tell you when we're posting more videos of these travels.